We are standing right here with the Southern State Parkway behind us. And as these cars drive by, we look at this as the men and women that make New York City work. The governor, she looks at it as mobile dollar signs of people she is about to pick the pockets for no good reason whatsoever. And we're here to announce how we're going to stop it. Congestion pricing has been opposed by everybody except the governor and the MTA. And we look at it, it's not a Republican issue, it's not a Democratic issue, it's not an independent issue. This is opposed by everybody. And there are suits not only by the town of Hempstead, there are suits from upstate New York, from New Jersey, and they are not representing political parties. They're representing the fact that men and women who go to the city for their jobs cannot afford this anymore. And you know what? Months ago, the governor held a press conference where she was putting a pause on congestion pricing, and everybody saw exactly what was going to take place. The governor was going to pause it until after Election Day. And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, she couldn't wait to get your dollars. Holy cow. Talk about a week right after Election Day. The governor announced that she's bringing back congestion pricing. But in our wonderful governor's logic, somehow she's trying to convince residents that by lowering the price, she's doing you a favor and saving you money. Well, residents see right through it. This is an ill-conceived idea that is nothing more than a money grab. And what's even worse, for the governor for last week to announce that they were going to kick this back into gear by lowering the price down to $9 in and $9 out. Initially, the vote was supposed to be on Wednesday. Late on Friday, guess what they did? They announced the vote was going to be moved to Monday. You know how many people this weekend weren't aware of that, who had planned on testifying on Wednesday and can't? I'll tell you right now, a lot of them, because I was out all weekend long, and everybody from the field hockey fields to the soccer fields to the state champion rally, all of them were talking about this money grab. The residents have had enough. And as I said, I am delighted that so many people on both sides of the line are opposed to this. As I said, there's power in numbers. Well, people have to make their voices heard. They've expressed their outrage to us. We will make our voices heard. Because I'm going to tell everybody right now, there's something coming, and we have to put a stop to it. And it's the Hochul tax hazard, ladies and gentlemen. Our job in the town of Hempstead and all these municipalities is to stop this. We will be taking additional legal action if the MTA moves forward, because the residents have had enough. They are fed up, and they are tired of this money grab, and that's all this is.
There has been close to $1 billion in fare evaders over the last year. People jumping turnstiles, riding buses, riding subways without paying. The MTA spends over $2.5 billion a year just to manage their debt. This is not a group that knows how to manage money. And instead of tightening the reins, instead of finding new leadership, what do? They dig into the pockets of the people of New York and New Jersey. The MTA has used the people of New York and New Jersey as their ATM for far too long. And in Congress, we brought this to the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, a bipartisan group, to make sure that no federal funding was used to implement congestion pricing. Miraculously, just weeks before the election, because they knew it was hurting them in the polls, Governor Hochul was advised by the minority leader, you need to put a pause. And we stood at a press conference and all said, well, immediately following the election, however the results land, we can guarantee you that Governor Hochul will be putting and implementing congestion pricing into place. And here we are. It took her less than a week to once again screw the residents of the state of New York. That is where we're at. She has managed to not only anger Republican and conservatives, but Democrats and independents. By far and away, one of the most ineffective leaders this state has ever seen. But what's not ineffective are the groups standing with me and beside me. These are individuals who are fighting each and every day for the people that they represent. So, Supervisor, thank you for your leadership. Let's continue the fight.
As the governor wants to impose a $9 tax on people entering Manhattan, we realize how unfair this is. While addressing traffic congestion and promoting environmental sustainability, those are goals we support. But this is an unfair burden on the hardworking residents, commuters, small businesses. How does a plumber bring his tools and supplies, or a carpenter, or someone doing deliveries? How do they avoid this area? It's impossible. Countless New Yorkers who live outside Manhattan see driving into the city not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Many rely on these roads to get to their essential jobs, medical appointments, and educational opportunities. I remember Albany in the day. First, it was the MTA payroll tax, foisting this pain on every municipality, every business, even not-for-profits, and that's wrong. It has a ripple effect by the individuals and on the economy as a whole. So we're proud to stand with all of our colleagues from every town, every municipality, every community group, every resident to say no.
We are standing up for our residents. They don't need another tax. We do the best we can to provide services, to take care of our towns. And here we go again, another overreach from Albany. They haven't solved their problems over time, the bureaucracy, the fare evading. They haven't solved those problems. They're losing money. What do we have? Another tax. And it's a regressive tax. It hurts the workers. It hurts the small businesses. And we won't stand for it. We want the governor to do better. We want the MTA to do better. They owe that to their residents. There is no plan for fewer people to be driving. The plan actually includes the revenue. They want the revenue. It's another money grab. It's another tax for Long Island residents that can't afford another tax.
The MTA waste, fraud, and abuse is legendary. Absolutely legendary. There's not a person watching this or standing here who believes that this money that is being taken out of the pockets of hardworking Long Islanders is going to solve anything, because Albany refuses to get to the root of the problem. Mass transit, as was talked about, should be efficient and economical. It is neither. People don't have the choice. People need to drive into Manhattan. There's a problem with the way that decisions are made in Albany. There's an appreciable lack of leadership that plagues Long Island. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, you are getting the short end of the stick when it comes to our government in Albany. And I appreciate Supervisor Clavin and everyone I stand with here today by calling out that fact and pushing for change. Thank you.
We're going to do everything we can to stop this. We're going to do everything we can to fight this. And when the new administration comes in, we're going to do everything we can to get them to help us so you can just live your life out here, go to work, and not be hassled by the MTA and the governor anymore.